All right, welcome back, art students. So I have been progressing quite a bit. As you can see, I have darkened some of my lines with my ballpoint pen for like in areas like this. I did a little bit of some value scale shift from super dark to super light in some areas. So that's a cool benefit of using a ballpoint pen. What's kind of nice about the black Sharpie is it seems to be very flat appearing. So you can get a very consistent dark shaded in area, as you can see, where there is no use for that shifting of dark to light. So depending what you're after, they both can each have their benefits, and I like that having both of them in my artwork, they actually work quite nicely. So I'm at the point now where I can start adding some color. Now, a lot of Hyapotapa bark cloths use a lot of neutral colors, okay? And they have very little bit of bright, vivid colors. So maybe you could choose maybe 1 to 2 maximum of the brighter spectrum colors that are actually part of the rainbow, and let most of your artwork be the neutral, subdued kind of earth tone colors. So all of like your browns, grays, blacks, whites, you know, those kinds of colors. So I'm just going along here with some color pencils first. And then once I have placed some color with my colored pencils, then I'm going to invite probably some ink washing, which I'm going to use with my markers and a wet watercolor brush. But I won't do that probably too much. I probably will do it just a little bit. So yeah, so I like how this is here. Maybe I can shade in this whole side over here. Now, when you're coloring with your colored pencils, there's a huge benefit to coloring with lighter colored color pencils, and that is that they can work over on top of all of the dark lines quite nicely. The dark colors, however, they don't really work that well on top of the black ink. I don't know why, it's just how it is. And the texture quality of a color pencil is actually kind of nice too. And I really like this color. It's very soft, it's very neutral, it's very subdued, it's quiet. It actually reminds me quite a bit of the actual bark cloth color, which is partly why I want you to use some of these neutral tones. Oh, maybe I'll put in here kind of a more reddish tone. Be very neat and precise with the way that you're coloring. Notice how well I'm staying inside of my lines. Also pay attention to how dark you are coloring and how lightly you are coloring, and make sure that you are going after the look that you're after. Now, sometimes there's an accident that happens, and happens to all of us. Just try to turn it into something else. Like a tattoo artist. I think for my bright, vivid color that I'm gonna use on mine, I think I'm gonna choose green. Yeah, I think I'm gonna choose green. So maybe I'll grab a bright green and maybe a medium green. Okay, so maybe I will choose to do my medium green right here. So maybe you've noticed a few things that helps make my artwork look kind of similar to the Hyapotapa cloths, but also kind of reminds you of John Pule's artwork. Maybe you can pull out some of those features. And I actually put in here a little bit of my own ideas too, believe it or not. And I think that's what makes this a really cool piece of artwork. think I'm gonna do these leaves over here, this brighter green color. Those should pop right out. Kind of like a lime green, like a citrus green. I like it. It'll grab my viewer's attention for a second. But you can see that I don't want to have too much color happening. Otherwise, it will distract the attention away from all of our hard work with those dark black lines. And if you keep your colors really soft and earthy toned, neutral, you'll get to maintain and keep some of that. Now, if it was just flooded with like the rainbow colors, for instance, not saying that that's bad, and if that's what you want to do, you can do that. But it might become too visually distracting. That element of color will start to take away and overrule your pattern, your lines, and your shapes even. It'll all just become a big floodgate of color. So be thinking about that. How are you going to place your colors on here in a way that's comfortable for your eyes to look at and is really appealing? Okay, and then I think what I'll do here is I'm going to lightly go over with this yellowish color. It's actually really light, kind of brown color. And I'm just gonna go over a good chunk and majority of this area. I'm gonna leave these white, so I need to be careful. I'm not carelessly coloring at all. I'm lightly rubbing on this nice light color here. There we go. It's wonderful. I'm just going to go ahead over here and also apply it over here. This is actually relaxing and a lot of fun. Such a cool type of folk art that this is. And I think I'm going to do a light gray in those areas. Let's try this. You know, I kind of liked it white better. I should have left it white. That's okay. That's okay. We'll just go with the flow here. Maybe I'll like it later in a little bit. Okay, so I have like this huge dumping rain cloud that I want to attempt to do, and I'm kind of crazy because I'm going to do it with a black ink wash. But you know what? Why don't I stop the video right here, and I'll see you in the next video.